Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. Once again, we've had tragedy on the homestead. It's been one of those things that, you know, when you live on a homestead and you've got your own water source. Now this is our well house that we have. When you have a water source, anything can happen. And it happened to us. Our well started cycling every 15 minutes, even though we were not using any water. And me having a little bit of experience with wells automatically knew there was an issue in the bottom of the well. So now this is a shallow well. This is not a submergible. And being it was a shallow well, I knew that there was a jet or a foot valve problem in the bottom of the well. It had been 17 years since I had this well put in. So I could not remember exactly what was put in the bottom of the well. So we were going to do it ourselves, but Wanda insisted that we get a company out here to do it, just simply because we didn't actually know what we might be facing, whether we had all the parts or whatever. So we called a well service in. They came in, and what we found was that when we went to pull the well, the pipe wouldn't come out of the well. So I had to drill a hole in the top of the well house here with my drill. And we used this T-post right here with a chain laid across it. And we took a come-along and ran it down and put it across the motor. We had to take a come-along and actually break the well pipe loose in the well, because what had happened was the guy who put the well in for me before had put a double set of leathers on it. Now these are two 2-inch leathers. There's two right here. Now this is a jet that goes in the bottom of the well, and because it had two sets of leathers on it, it was more difficult to break it loose. And once we got it loose, of course, it came right on up out of there, but we had to have a come along to break it loose. Now what happened here was this jet, and I know you probably can't see in there because it's dark, but there's a little tiny hole in there that had rusted through this metal jet after 17 years. And what was happening is this thing was allowing the water in our system to leak back down into the well and not hold it. Now, once we got into the well, we found out that the previous guy who did this did not put a foot valve on it. He only put the well jet on it. And I insisted that the guy that was here put a new foot valve on the bottom of it for me, plus put me a new jet on the bottom of it. The foot valve is like insurance if something happens to the jet. So that was what the whole problem was. Now comes the whole situation of we've got everything back in here, but because we had to take it all apart, now we have to re-insulate everything, because, you know, here in the Deep South, we don't get real cold a lot, but we do get freezes, and you do not want your water well freezing. So the inside of my well house here has 1-inch thick styrofoam insulation around on the inside of it. Remember, when you have a well system like this, now this is a Stay Right pump right here. This little plastic line right here that runs to this pressure gauge down to your regulator, that is the one thing that will freeze before anything else on this well system will. Now, if this thing freezes, it can do one of two things. It can either freeze up with ice in it and the pump will not come on until you thaw it out. Or if the pump happens to be running and it freezes up, then your pump will not turn off. It will sit there and literally run till it burns the motor up in it. So one of the things we're going to be doing today is re-insulating this. Since he's been in here, he's took all the insulation off of everything. We're going to re-insulate that. And around on the other side, right here, he had to come in and he had to cut our line to take the pump off of the top of the well. And he took all of our insulation off of that. So we're going to be going back. We're going to be re-insulating that, because you can see that everything in here has insulation around it. And we've got the re-insulate in the bottom here. He took the insulation off of that where it goes down into the ground from our slab, because we definitely don't want that breaking right there and freezing and busting at an elbow in the ground. So we're going to re-insulate that. We're letting the inside of this dry out. Now my drain is in the floor right here, And my drain has gotten stopped up a little bit with some leaves and stuff that's got in here over the years. And I got to clean that out. That's going to be another one of the projects, because you always want to drain in the floor of your pump house, just for something like this. When this happens, this thing got to be 1.5 inches deep in water in here, and we realized that the drain was stopped up, so I had to kind of let water run out from under the edges of the plates in order to get it out of here. So today we're going to let this thing dry out, and we're going to be working on the roof up here. We're going to have to go back. We're going to put us a piece of metal over that hole on the top underneath the shingles, so that we can prevent the water from ever getting back in here again. And then we'll have a hole in the roof in case in the near future, if anything ever happens again, there'll be a hole there to pull it with. So got a lot of work to do today on the pump, getting it back where it needs to be, and then we're going to get the top put back over all this once the floor dries out and we get it all cleaned up. We keep one of these type lights in here. And what I do is I just clamp it right here on my 2x4 like this, and I'll turn this light up, and we'll lock it into position right here, and we'll plug it in, because all pump houses, I put a plug in them, and we'll plug this thing in over here. And you want a waterproof plug system on it. And what I do is that keeps the pump house warm during the winter time, because we leave this on 24 hours a day in the winter time, and that keeps the pump house warm, and we don't have to worry about our pipes freezing and busting, even if it happens to get down to below freezing, which it does do sometimes. Okay guys, when we're taping up our insulation here, you'll notice you see this aluminum foil tape on it. I do that because aluminum foil tape doesn't deteriorate like duct tape does, and that's one of the reasons I use it. It's really does a better job, and we believe in making sure that everything is taken care of. You know, we may be a little slow, but we get the job done. I like to make sure everything is taped real good, because you can do this right now while it's warm. I'd say warm, it's in the 50s, but you can do it now and do it right, or you can come out here and freeze your behind off in freezing weather with busted pipes and water and everything else and try to do it, or you can take your time and do it now and do it right. Okay guys, we've got this one here completely insulated up. Got our I call it air conditioning tape, our aluminum foil tape around everything right here. Got that insulated good where we won't have to worry about it freezing. Now we're going to move up and start working on our other ones up here. Guys, when you're putting this kind of tape on, you want to always lap all the way around till you touch the tape again, because that tape won't stick to that insulation wrap there. Make sure you always pull it good and tight. Okay guys, we pretty much got all the maintenance done in here. We went back and reworked our light that we keep in here. It was had some issues with that. We went and rebuilt it and got it in good working order, and we cleaned the floor real clean, and we've got everything taped back up. Got everything to where we don't have to worry about it this winter. Everything's in tip-top shape, so we're going to start putting the top on it now. Okay guys, we cover our top of our well house up with some corrugated metal. We don't have any insulation on that, but we've never had a problem with anything freezing in our climate. You know, if you lived in a climate where it freezed real bad, then You know, you could insulate the back side of this and it would be really nice. Wouldn't be a problem. But this is very quick. It's a very quick install for us. We don't have to worry about if rain blows in here on it. It's not going to hurt it. We got this piece here now. This piece is a lot shorter. It doesn't go all the way to the end. That's on purpose. I will show you in just a second why. All right, the reason that I have this hole here and I have no screws, in the metal anywhere right here, is that in the winter time, or if in a case I have to turn the water off real quick, I can grab the edge of this metal. I can reach right here, my plug-in's right here for my light switch is right there for my light. I can turn the light on the well. I can let that plop back down. This piece here slides up under that one. Locks down in here, that way the wind cannot get to it to blow anything off of it. And if it rains, then the rain gets up under here and it drains off and it doesn't hurt us because we're on a concrete slab underneath it. So, this is the completion of our well and our journey on getting our well fixed and showing you how we set our well house up here in the south to deal with the wintertime months. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.